Hello, everyone. How are you? Oh, that was an overwhelmingly underwhelming response. Let's try it again. It is the graveyard shift. Hello, everyone. Thank you. Now I'm feeling the love. Absolutely. So accreditation does matter, doesn't it? Yeah, absolutely. And I am here to tell you at the very beginning of this is I am in no way medically or scientifically accredited. But this I do know. Once you've eaten, the blood goes from your brain, where it's doing all that stuff to drive your cognitive function, and it makes its way into your gut for the rest and digest phase, which, is helpful, but it does result in this mid-afternoon phenomenon that can sometimes look a little bit like this. So thank you all for coming to the main event. You have not come here to have a snooze. So thank you for the introduction, Jason. Yes, my name is Nathy Gaffney. If any of you are wondering, no, it's not short for anything, and no, it is not made up. I'm officially too old to have a made-up name. It is, however, Irish, although some people who are Irish in the audience might be going, well, I've never heard of it. But I can assure you that it is Irish. And an interested participant once told me, do you know that I looked your name up? And I'm like, stalker much? And they assured me that my name apparently means nephew of a tree. So here I stand before you for the next 30 minutes, probably 27 now, Nathy, nephew of a tree, Gaffney, about to talk to you about how improving self-awareness, and that is each and every one of your self-awareness, can improve productivity, profits, process, efficiency, business outcomes, and all of that sort of stuff. So let me check before we dive in, are you all in the right room? Because I have locked the doors. Okay, excellent. Great stuff. So over the next 27 or so minutes, I'm excited to explore how increasing your self-awareness can profoundly impact both business needs and outcomes and performance. So what exactly are business outcomes and performance needs? Well, business outcomes are the results you get when you put in the effort, and whether that is growing profits, whether that is expanding a business, whether that is delivering on targets, whatever that is your desired business outcome. What are performance needs? Performance needs are that environment that provides the support for people to do what they need to do to deliver on the business outcomes. So if I was to say to you, what comes first, the chicken or the egg? We could sit here all afternoon and debate that. Okay, the chicken, look, see, people are whispering, like you know. So this is interesting, isn't it? It's like, I feel like I'm going to be down here soon. But if I was to say 4 things, 4 P words: productivity, profits, process, people, how would you order them in terms of what we're here talking about? People number 1? You told me they were going to be a bright group this afternoon, and so far I'm not disappointed. So, people, anyone want to argue with that? People come first. And where does profit sit? That's kind of last. That's the end game, yeah? And then in the middle, we have process and productivity. Absolutely. So and interestingly, if you kind of close that in a loop, it comes back. Organisations that invest in their people have better processes, better productivity, and better profits. So we're kind of going to unpack that a little bit. Is that all right with you? Alrighty. So if we think about the lens of, if we think about business outcomes, driving needs across industries and individual companies. They do vary from industry to company, but by and large, they kind of sit across 4 buckets. And those principal elements or buckets that we think of at Insights, because that's the company that I work for, is we think about these business needs as climate, focus, process, and flow. So climate is that thing that we create as people, yeah, as humans. We think about employee satisfaction, that degree to which you're engaged and you're happy to come to work and you're happy to engage in the work that you do. We think about customer satisfaction, happy customers, advocating for the business, repeat business, buying the products, buying the services. CSR and sustainability, you know, keeping that alive so that we are a responsible citizen on the corporate global sustainability stage, and customer retention. A happy customer will come back. A happy customer might tell 3 or 4 people about their great experience. An unhappy customer will tell how many people? Lots more. Let me just put that on Facebook. So again, this is climate. Then we have focus, and focus is about, you know, the organisational, those tangible business outcomes that every organisation is looking for. Profitability, revenue growth. We want to be increasing that. Market share expansion. What markets? How are we innovating and growing? And productivity. Okay, so that's that focus on the end result. Then we have process. We think about financial stability. What are we doing within the business to keep momentum going, to keep people's jobs safe, to keep our customers safe? Financial stability, operational efficiency, making sure everything hums along. You know, we all remember back in COVID, couldn't get toilet paper. That wasn't humming along, was it? There were supply chain issues. So operational efficiencies. Risk management, making sure that we are compliant, making sure that what we take to market is fit for purpose and isn't going to compromise the organisation and its people and its customers in any way. And then, did I jump to process? Oh yeah, I am. Risk management. Risk management, yes, again, keeping that all happy, and of course, compliance. Very important for effectiveness and efficiency. And then finally, kind of some of the juice that some companies are driven by, other companies see it as a necessary irritant. And that is flow. What we look at, innovation and product development. We look at strategic partnerships and alliances, brand reputation, how we are perceived by others out there, and adaptability and flexibility. So what are we doing when things change and we have to change to adapt and best suit and compete within environments that sometimes are beyond our control? So does that all make sense? Okay, so let's have a look then about performance business outcomes. If we think about performance is fundamentally driven by a couple of levers, and that is efficiency and effectiveness. So effectiveness is, can we get the job done? You know, how productive are we being? Are we fit for purpose? Are we delivering on those promises? And efficiency is about doing it in the best possible time available, the least possible time, the least amount of resources, okay? And we all want to be effective, but we also know that we have whole divisions and functions within businesses that are set up to drive efficiency. And sometimes, if you think about it, it's balancing. It's a balancing act, isn't it? Do you think it can be a trade-off somewhere? Yeah, absolutely. If you think about some of the trade-offs, time versus quality. So you want quick results, but you also want high quality. That's a trade-off between effectiveness and efficiency. You think about innovation versus stability. So efficiency favours routine. We've done it before, we know it works. It ain't broke, don't fix it, let's just keep going. But of course, effectiveness might need some risk-taking. It might need innovation to be effective. And then short-term versus long-term goals. Short-term, immediate gains from efficiency versus that long-term, a slower win, but in order to be effective, maybe we have to slow down in order to speed up. So efficiency and effectiveness. So how do we find a balance? We find a balance through aligning efficiency with effectiveness strategically, so that they both work towards the goals of a business. We make continuous improvements. We stay adaptable. The balance between efficiency and effectiveness can also change with circumstances. So we're here talking about the learning needs of the people, yeah? That first step on the path to profits. So when we think about people through the lenses of effectiveness and efficiency, this is what we're looking at. Effectiveness can happen through leadership effectiveness, you know, a person at the top that people want to follow, team dynamics and cohesion, communication and transparency. You know, how easy is it for communication to flow through channels within a business, or is it constantly getting stuck? Organisational learning and ability, conflict resolution, and we'll take a little dive into that. Customer-centric focus, not just being focused on us and what we do, but how it lands with the people it's designed for. Adaptability to change. We all know, if we didn't know it 5 years ago, we certainly knew it 4 years ago. Employee engagement and well-being, again, that was sort of a gift that COVID gave us in many organisations that we work with. All of a sudden there was this focus on mental health, psychosocial safety, well-being in the workplace. It's now become not a nice to have, it's an absolute need to have. And development, people development is part of that plan, and strategic decision making. So that's effectiveness, yeah? Would you all agree with that? Yeah? Okay. Efficiency, optimised team composition. So making sure that we're not loading up one team with subject matter experts who are all good at the same thing. It's just like, what about some cognitive diversity? You know, what about cultural diversity? Yeah. What about people who aren't steeped in a process, who can come in and look at it? They might not be experts, but they see it through fresh eyes. Yeah. So they can see things that when you're an expert, you might not be able to see because you see it in a certain way. Effective task allocation, giving people things that they're good at and they put their hands up for. You know, proactive problem solving. Clear communication channels, adaptability, flexibility, time management, you know, managing your own time, continuous improvement, employee well-being, effective decision-making, and ownership and accountability. Let's just break that down or simplify it. If we look at these three elements, leadership effectiveness is all about a leader who knows their strengths and has done the work, but also knows where their blind spots are and where their strengths don't lie, and they surround themselves with great teams. So leadership effectiveness, it starts with leadership of self, but it also goes into that leadership, that one-to-one conversation, a leadership of teams, not just managing, but also inspiring, always looking at the people and the process, but always looking up at the horizon. So leadership effectiveness, very important. Team dynamics and collaboration. Self-aware team members understand their roles within the team and their impact on others. We've all walked in, you know, the cloud of doom walks into the office on a Monday morning, and within 15 minutes, everyone's in a bad mood. You know, self-aware people understand the impact that how they turn up plays out on other people. And that is incredibly powerful. Communication and transparency. Self-aware individuals are conscious of their communication style and its impact. You know, you walk past that person and they just want to tell you about what they did on the weekend. And you're like, or the person who goes, I just need it now. And you're like, oh yeah, but have you seen this new photo of my dog? It's like, don't care. So self-aware people, they understand that they're one way, but other people might be other ways, okay? And they're curious about that, curious enough to learn so that they can adapt their behaviour so that there is cohesion, okay? So that's effectiveness, how self-awareness impacts effectiveness, how it impacts efficiency, optimised team composition. We talked about that diversity piece, yeah? So self-awareness is really, really important. Self-aware team members understand their strengths and weaknesses, their awareness of these skills, and they're quite happy to say, you know what, you're better at this than me, or let me take this off your hands because actually I can do this in probably half the time that it's going to take you to do it. Yeah? There becomes that to and fro within people that creates a real sense of reciprocity. Effective team allocation and task allocation. You know, self-aware originals know their preferred task and areas of expertise, and there's efficient utilisation of human resources. Efficient, efficient, efficient. Lowering of egos. Who's good at this? Who can get it done in the least time possible? And finally, proactive problem solving. Self-aware team members recognise challenges, and whether they're challenges in the business or challenges within the team, they will take proactive action to resolve them in as shorter time as possible. So I'd like to pause now for a minute because there's a lot of and I want you to actually think about yourselves. So when we at Insights go in and you know, we help people discover this whole self-awareness process, thinking about how do I understand myself and therefore how can I use that information to understand others better, yeah? One of the things that comes out of that is how do I deal with people that I'm in conflict with? It's a $64,000 question at this time of the afternoon. So I'd love to see a show of hands. Has anyone ever had any sort of conflict with someone they work with? Yeah, okay. So I want you to think about that, just close your eyes for 10 seconds, go into that world of pain, with that person, with that situation, and I want you to think about the impact that conflict, whether it was right or wrong, externally imposed or a personality thing, the impact that it had on your ability to be effective and your ability to be efficient. Yeah? Yeah, it's huge. So morale, productivity, just communication. There's people like, oh, delete. I don't want to communicate with that person. You know, how much time is lost, how much mental and emotional bandwidth is compromised when we are in conflict and we don't know how to deal with it. And honestly, I work with a few scientists over the years, and I remember going out, and one particular organisation, technically brilliant people had been elevated into people leader roles, and everyone within the floor, whenever there was a conflict, they would just escalate it. And the leader didn't know what to do because they didn't have the core skills to be able to help their team members, and so everything went to arbitration. Like serious stuff. We were brought into, like, we've got to reverse this flow, you know? So these are the sorts of things. Here's a little mud map. You love a process, don't you? Because it helps us be effective and efficient. So at Insights, for example, once you've discovered that self-awareness piece, we get pre-work. You know, how are you seeing this conflict? What is your perception of it? You know, we do conflict workshops with participants and managers. We get them into the difference between unwarranted and healthy conflict. Have you heard of leaning into conflict? Some people love it. Most people, conflict is like, ooh, it's a little bit of a dirty word, yeah? It represents discomfort and pain. But you know, we look at what can conflict bring us. There's a diversity of thought here that if we can leverage it, we can work with it, yeah? Applications. We do a personal year in review. How often has conflict cost you? What's the opportunity of not shifting or not dealing with it more effectively? And therefore, it's learning all of this. We give you the tools, okay? So it's tools which are tangible tools which can tangibly give you outcomes that make a difference. So respondents reacted positively to the discovery program. They're learning important concepts. They're able to easily and tangibly and quickly apply what they've learnt. So it's not like, well, do this workshop and in 3 months' time you'll be able to. It's like out of the room and straight into it. These are tools that you can use. And they're not just tools for work, they're tools for life. Significant impact on the environment and the culture. Yeah. So there's a lot of things, and I'm going to wrap this up by just sharing with you, and I have to read this because there's a lot of numbers in this, and numbers are not my strong suit, but that's okay because we are a cognitively diverse group here today. So we did a massive body of work with Indeed. Now, Indeed is a global leader in recruitment. Millions of people, 5 million hits every day or something like that. Hang on, let me go back and find the, can I go back and find the thing? There we go. No, I can't find it. Okay, anyway, doesn't matter. Lots of people. And Indeed and Insights have been working together since 2014. So we did a range of, over the years, the result was the proven impact of using the Insights discovery and subsequent training programs driven by Insights. In monetary terms, reduced staff turnover and retention, $7.9 million. Individual time saving, $543,000. Reduction, I found this one really interesting, a reduction in the time for promotion. So people feeling like they're moving, it's $364,000. Innovation, $653,000. And agility, $594,000. So the team members indicated the amount of improvement caused by the Insights discovery learning journey and their confidence in the data, because Insights has been around for a lot of many, many years and has been delivering fantastic results. So for Indeed, they provided $10 million in benefits with an ROI of 2,063% based on those figures. Don't ask me to prove it, I didn't crunch the numbers. But suffice to say, over a period of time, what happens is, who speaks English in this room? Yeah? Yeah? Who speaks a language other than English? Who speaks more than 3 languages? Okay, now you're just showing off. Okay, so here's the thing. You all talk science as well as English. You all talk medicine. You all talk histology. You all talk epidemiology. You all talk a lot of ologies. But often within a business, between different functions, those people up the hall, they don't talk my language. And yet when you get something like Insights into an organisation at this kind of level, all of a sudden, everyone's talking a common language. And you think about efficiency and effectiveness, communication, this stuff delivers big time. So, how am I going for time? Couple of minutes? I'm done. What I would like to say to you is you can download the summary if you don't trust my numbers. I can see you doing that. You're doing that. No, you can absolutely download the list. And also, in case you missed it on the way in, the Insight stand with Grace, Karen and Wayne is just outside the room. So if you're interested in entering our competition to attend an Insights workshop, discovery workshop, please do. And it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for committing to the graveyard shift. Did you have just a little bit of fun? I don't believe you. Did you have just a little bit of fun? Did you learn something useful? Fantastic. Thank you so much for your time and attention. I'm Nathy Gaffney, part of Insights, and enjoy the rest of the conference. Thank you.